I really love books. I love the smell of them. I think everyone loves the smell of books. Hi everyone, happy Saturday, hope you're doing okay. I was looking at my bookshelves and I literally counted out all of the books that I have not read yet. So I thought it'd be a cool idea to show you the books that are kind of on my reading list, because they are all the books that I have not read yet. So this is a series that I've owned these 2 books for ages and have not read them yet. And I know that there's like 2 more or 3 more of the series, but it is Uglies series by Scott Westerfeld. And yeah, see, there's specials, which is another one. But I think there's another one now as well. I'm really excited to read them because I've had them for ages and they look really cool. I'll read the blurb of the first one. So, Tally can't wait to turn 16 and become pretty. 16 is the magic number that brings a transformation from a repellent ugly to a stunningly attractive pretty, and catapults you into high-tech paradise where your only job is to have a really great time. In just a few weeks, Tally will be there. But Tally's new friend Shay isn't sure she wants to be pretty. She'd rather risk life on the outside. When Shay runs away, Tally learns about a whole new side of the pretty world, and it isn't very pretty. The authorities offer Tally the worst choice she can imagine: find her friend and turn her in, or never turn pretty at all. The choice Tally makes changes her world forever. And the little thing at the top is, before the Hunger Games there was these, so it makes me very excited to read these. Next, this is a new book that came out in October last year. I think it came out October last year, and it's been sat on my bookshelf for ages, and I almost feel like I've done it a disservice for not reading it yet. But it is Carrie Fletcher's new book, In the Time We Lost. I keep seeing whenever she puts like people that have tagged her in photos of her book, and every like thing is like, oh my gosh, the ending is such a twist, blah blah blah. I should just sit and read it. When we go away in the summer for 2 weeks, that is when I get a lot of my reading done. Like last year we were away for 2 weeks, I got through like 7 books, I think, and this wasn't out yet, and I really wish it had been. It's not even finding the motivation for it, it's just like I'll start it. Like there's a couple in this pile that I've started but have just like not carried on reading them, which is really annoying. But this is, I think this is the next book I'm gonna pick up and read, 100%. Next book, so The Handmaid's Tale. I would really quite like to read it. I really want to read it. And I didn't realise that it was a dystopian. I thought it was like a period drama kind of book, but it's not, it's dystopian, which makes me even more excited to read it. It's by Margaret Atwood, and I know that she's written like a sequel or something else to add on to it. I don't know if that's me thinking that, but I know that she brought out a new book that was meant to be about this. So I'm very excited to read this. Next, this has been sat on my bookshelf for 2-3 years and I've still not picked it up and read it. It is After You by Jojo Moyes. It is the sequel to Me Before You. Me Before You, I read it before the film came out, and even then I didn't see the film till maybe 6 months, 7 months after it was released on DVD. But I have a thing about books. If it's being turned into a film, I can't read the book if I've seen the film already. Because one, if I already know what's going to happen and it's going to take me like 2 days to read, like 2, 3, maybe even 4 days to read the book, but I already know what's going to happen, I kind of can't be arsed. Even though I know the book is most likely going to be so much more descriptive and, you know, there's going to be so many different things in the book that are different from the film. I made myself read the first one, so I made myself read Me Before You before I saw the film. Likewise with The Hunger Games. I read the first Hunger Games book before watching the film, but then I didn't do that for Catching Fire. Then I saw Catching Fire in the cinema and then couldn't get into the book. But then Mockingjay, I read that and then saw the films. That's my thing. I can't see a film if there's a book about it that I would want to read. I need to read the book first, otherwise I waste my money on really good books because I buy them anyway. Next up, this is a book that I got this for Christmas. It is The Disney Story, written by Aaron H. Goldberg, chronicling the man, the mouse, and the parks. This is kind of more of a like informational book. So the blurb, that's what it's called, the blurb. So attention all Disney fans, do you enjoy reading about the Disney theme parks? Perhaps you're enamoured with the man who was Walt Disney. Maybe you're just plain crazy for Mickey Mouse and the Disney big screen features. No need to order your serving of Disney history and knowledge a la carte anymore. So, welcome to the Disney story, a decade-by-decade look back on the man, the mouse and the theme parks. From Mickey Mouse's debut at the Colony Theatre in November 1928 to the opening of Shanghai Disneyland in 2016 and everything in between, finally the world's greatest storyteller has their story told. There is no pictures in this, which I thought that there would be. There's like a picture from a newspaper and that's the only thing in there. I'm really excited to read this. I'm not great with informational books though, like this is why I hated revision, but this is very different from doing revision and stuff, but textbooks, I hated them, and I'm not great with autobiographies either. I can't really read autobiographies. I don't really enjoy them very much. This isn't an autobiography, it's kind of more of a biography, but I am excited to read this, and I think it's going to make me fall in love with Disney even more than I already am. Which could be both a good and a bad thing. Good for me, bad for everyone else that I live with. We were doing Joe Wick's workout yesterday and the quiz that he'd chosen to do during the workout was a Disney quiz, and I got them all right, obviously. One of the questions was, what does EPCOT stand for? I know that it stands for Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow. My mum just sort of looked at me as I just blurted it out. She was like, really? It's like, yeah, I know that. It's like, what was Walt Disney's full name? I wasn't sure that I knew this, but I got it right. Walter Elias Disney. I wasn't even sure if I knew it, and I got it right. This is a book that's been out for ages, and I've had the paperback copy because I didn't want to buy the hard copy. It is Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. It's the script of the show, and as someone who, one, loves theatre and two, is, looking to work in theatre, thought this would be interesting to read. I'm not the biggest Harry Potter fan. I tried to read the first book and I could not get into it. Again, I think it's because I'd seen all the films before I'd read the books, which didn't really help. I have not seen the play yet, so I kind of want to read the book. I'm just kind of intrigued. As I said, I'm not the biggest Harry Potter fan. I enjoy it, but there's definitely people out there that love it a whole lot more than me. But I am excited to read the play because I have heard it's amazing, and I kind of hope there's stage directions in here. There is! That's fun. Last one on my list. This is an autobiography, but it's one that I will force myself to read whether I'm, going to enjoy it or not. It is The Princess Diaries. It is Carrie Fisher's memoirs of when she was on the Star Wars set. So the blurb is, when Carrie Fisher discovered the journals she kept during the filming of the first Star Wars movie, she was astonished to see that they had preserved plaintive love poems, unbridled musings, and youthful naivety, and a vulnerability that she barely recognised. Including excerpts from these handwritten books, The Princess Diaries is Fisher's intimate and revealing recollection of what happened on one of the most famous film sets of all time. That's not the whole of it, but I really, really just want to be able to read it, because autobiographies are not really my thing, but I'm desperate to read this. I just want to sit down and force myself to read it. And I will. And that is all the books on my reading list. It's a lot of books, but we all know that I'm going to go out and buy new books anyway. There's 3 or 4 other books that I want to buy at the moment. Tom and Giovanna Fletcher, their joint book, Eve of Man. I've read it on holiday last year and they've just brought out the new one. I'm so desperate to find out what happens next. I think that's it for this week. That is all of my books that I have not read but have been sat on my shelf for at least a year, some of them. Some of them are a lot longer than that, some of them are a little bit shorter than that. I think that's kind of it for this week. I hope you guys have enjoyed this and enjoyed my sort of spur of the moment video idea. And I will see you on Wednesday. In the meantime, stay safe, stay at home, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye everyone.